Okay, hello guys. Today I'm going to be explaining you guys about Python functions, basically functions in the programming language Python. So what is a function? A function is when you don't want to keep repeating code over and over again. You want something reusable. Like instead of writing multiple lines of code over and over again, the same lines of code over and over again, you can just put it inside of a function and it's going to become reusable. And you don't have to write it over and over again, so here's the note for that. You guys can copy it if you want to. And now, on to the next topic. Why do we use functions? I'll give you guys maybe 5 seconds to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So why do we use functions? You can write that down in the comment if you want to. So we use functions to avoid repeating. And functions make our code look more presentable. It makes it cleaner, easier to understand. And even if your code have a little bit of bugs, code always have bugs, then it's going to be easier to fix. So it's just good in general, so we use functions. Alright, here's the code for that, here's the note for that, if you want to copy it too. And now, on to the next, creating a function. Now we know why we use function, we know what functions are, but how do we create one? How do we define a function? Alright, I'll show you guys. So first of all, to define a function, you write the keyword def, which stands for define, and you can add whatever you want to name your function. I will make a simple greeting function that is basically just going to say hello user. So I'll say hello, say underscore hello. Okay, do you notice this underscore over here? When naming functions, we can't use spaces. So we use underscores instead of spaces. And now let me add a colon, and now I can do print hello user, and now you have your little hello user function. That is how you define a function. Now, let me give you the notes for that. I try to make it disappear for a bit while I explain. So here's the structure for defining functions. It's just def, define, and the name of the function, and the braces, and colon. Just click enter, and now it will give you 4 spaces automatically, and you can just add your code there. Now that you know how to define a function, let's talk about naming functions. Like I said, I already explained it to you guys. You guys can't use spaces, so you use underscores instead, and when naming a function, you use lowercase letters instead of uppercase. And like when naming function, actually describe what the function does. It's going to be easier to understand that way instead of making it just random words that maybe you got from the back of your mind or something. So there you go. That's the code. That's the notes for function names. And now we know how to define functions. We know how to name functions. Now it's time for calling functions. Calling functions is basically just saying to Python, hey, Python, run this code over here. So how do we do that? We just write the name of the function, like this. That's literally all you write, and now you can run the program, and now it's going to say hello user. So that's how you call a function. For example, you want to say that 3 times. You want to say hello 3 times for some reason, yeah, that's fine, I won't judge you. Just write it, just call the function 3 times like this. Say underscore hello, braces, make it 3 times, and now it's gonna say hello user 3 times. There you go. But then I will only say it once at the moment. And a little terminal Windows trick, if you don't know. If you wanna clear the terminal, just right clear, and now it's cleared. I think it only exists in, I guess, the CS50 adapted version of a Codespace, but it's fine. Alright, so here's the note for calling functions. And for today, I will be only telling you guys about this. And in my next video, I will be telling you guys about parameters, return values, and functions with conditionals, functions with loops, and so on and so on. And I will give you guys some practice questions too. So that's all for today's video. See you guys later.